5 things you can do at home to prevent falls. Hi, my name is Doug. I've been a physical therapist for 30 years and I specialize in helping people with balance problems learn to walk again. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 things you can do at home to prevent falls. Wearing the right shoes can really improve your balance. Ideally, you're most balanced when you're barefoot. That's because your foot is in the most contact with the ground and there's nothing throwing you off balance. Every little bit that your foot is raised off the ground actually makes you more unstable. A lot of people don't believe me about this. They'll come in my office wearing a slight heel or slippers or sandals, something that doesn't even connect to the back of their heel, and they'll tell me that they actually feel the most balance with those particular shoes on. And time again, I've shown people, just by demonstrating it to them, that when they're wearing their slippers or their sandals or their loose-fitting shoes or high heels, they're really not as steady. And the way I do that is I have them practice balancing on top of air-filled cushions. And what that does is it throws your balance off and it makes it just harder to balance. And what most people find is that when they're barefoot, it's actually the easiest. So being barefoot is not practical. You can't really walk in the community or around, New York City or any community place barefoot, but you do want to find the perfect shoe. And I can tell you right now what that is. Running shoes and people that manufacture running shoes have just spent millions and millions of dollars researching what's the best shoe to make the heel fully stable and not turning in or turning out when your heel hits the ground first. And because of that, running shoes actually can make your balance better. If you have a pair of running shoes on that's tightly fitting, that's snug on you, that's actually probably the best way to improve your balance. But anything else, whether it's loose-fitting dress shoes or slippers or sandals, they're not really connected to your foot the same way, and they don't really stabilize you when your heel hits the ground, and as a result, it makes you more unsteady. Look at slippers, for example. I live in Hawaii. A lot of people wear slippers, and they insist on wearing slippers. The problem with slippers is, first of all, they're not connected to your heel. So when your heel hits the ground, they're actually loose and they can be a little bit in or a little bit out, and that can lead to someone tripping and falling. But also, with a slipper, you have to actually push your toes down to keep the slipper bottom from flipping. So if you keep pushing your toes down, you're going to tend to walk more with your toe first when your foot hits the ground, and that actually leads to more balance problems. Another problem that a lot of people have, especially women, is insisting on wearing a heel. If you're having a balance problem and you're wearing a heel, I have to tell you, you're actually making your balance problem worse. Now, of course, really high heels are going to throw anybody off, but I'm talking about even a 1-inch heel actually decreases your balance. Now, there's no real research on this, but I can tell you from doing this with thousands of patients in my office and watching them with heels walk through an obstacle course or walk on something that makes them unsteady, they always feel more steady and more balanced when they're barefoot or when they're wearing a running shoe. One of the things I recommend for people that have had strokes or head injuries and they actually have a problem lifting their toes or keeping their ankle stable is to switch to using a hiking boot. Hiking boots are designed to keep your ankle very stable. So if you have a slight problem with your foot, rather than giving you an AFO brace or some type of orthopedic brace, I'd rather see the patient use a hiking shoe because those are designed for walking long distances throughout the community and throughout their life. And that actually is better over the long term than wearing a brace. Now, sometimes you have to wear a brace because the deformity or the weakness that you have is so great that a hiking boot or some type of shoe isn't going to overcome it. But if you can walk with a hiking boot, that's great, but you have to make sure that you lace up all the laces. Now, if you're having trouble tying your shoelaces and that's why you're walking with your shoes unlaced or very loosely laced, try to switch to something that has a Velcro strap. A lot of running shoes and a lot of walking shoes come in a model that has a Velcro closure. It's so important that you're wearing a shoe that's snugly fitting, and that can't happen if you're not closing your shoe all the way. Another thing you can do at home to prevent falls is to not have any loose rugs. So any rug that doesn't have a rubber backing, so a rug that's just, cotton material or whatever material, but no rubber backing, can slide very easily on a hardwood floor. So if you're walking around your house and there's those type of carpets, they can slide very easily when you step on them, causing you to fall. But the other thing is, and more commonly, they become bunched up more easily. That's why when you walk into a big store or a big commercial building, you never see rugs that don't have a thick rubber backing. The rubber backing helps the rug stay flat on the floor, and that actually has been shown to prevent falls. Having a nightlight can definitely prevent falls at night. A lot of times people fall when they get out of their bed in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. And time again, I always ask people, why is it that they fell when that happened? And they always tell me the same thing. They got up, they got a little bit disoriented, or they couldn't see something in front of them when they were making their way to the bathroom and they fell in the dark. It can be very scary to have a fall in the dark in your home when there's no one around. So one of the best ways to avoid this is to get a nightlight. In fact, you should have a couple of nightlights between your bed and your toilet, depending on how far away from your toilet you are. Now, a lot of people say they don't want a nightlight because they're afraid the light keeps them awake at night. I'm one of those people. I can't have a white light in my bedroom at night because if I do, it keeps me awake. So what I've learned and what science has shown us is that red or green lights don't have that same effect. So you can buy LED night lights that either have a green or a red LED, and those don't wake you up as much. Those don't keep you up at night. They still allow you to see, but you don't have to adjust as much when you open your eyes. So they actually make things safer. One of the problems is when we open our eyes, if there's white light, we have to kind of adjust from black and white to color. That's just how our eyes work. And that process takes a few seconds. And a lot of times people fall right when they get out of bed. So if you use a red or green nightlight with a green or red LED, your eyes don't have to adjust as much. You also don't have to wake up as much to see what's on the ground. And that can actually help you prevent falls. One thing you can do if you're unsteady at home is to add grab bars to all the places that you either have to step over something or you have to stand on something that's slippery. The number one area is in the bathroom. If you install a grab bar right next to your shower when you step in or out of your shower, you can definitely eliminate a lot of the risk of falling. You can also put grab bars next to your toilet or next to any chair that's really low that you have to get back up from. Because a lot of times when a person first stands up, that's when they feel unsteady. And if there's a secure grab bar to hold on to, that can really make the difference. Another place I recommend a grab bar is next to your bed. Now, I'm not saying to mount something on the wall, but if you go online like on Amazon or Walmart.com, you can see a whole bunch of grab bars that are designed to fit between the box spring and mattress on your bed with little feet that sit on the ground. These are really helpful because when you first get up from bed, it's nice to have something to grab onto if you're losing your balance. It also helps you stand up a little bit more safely. Probably the best thing that you can do at home to prevent falls is to practice balance challenging activities. Time and time again, when I talk to people in my office who first are sent to me because they fell, when I ask them, why do you think they fell? They always tell me the same thing, that over time, they're just less and less active, and most of them have gotten to the point where they're mainly sitting and they're only getting up to go to the bathroom or to go to the toilet. A lot of people, just like her, avoid walking because they're so afraid of falling. But actually, that's what causes people to fall more and more as we get older. You have to practice things that challenge your balance. And just walking on level ground or walking around our house is really not enough challenge to improve your balance. You have to do something, such as exercises that I do on my channel, to challenge your balance. You have to practice standing with your feet close together, standing on one leg. You have to practice walking backwards, walking sideways. All these things are important for us to improve or even just maintain our balance. I hope you found this video helpful. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. If you would like more help with your balance, look in the description for a link to a course I created that can help anyone improve their balance at home.